Hi everyone, welcome back to Books, Tea and Biscuits, otherwise known as Joe and Kim, and called Books, Tea and Biscuits because
we love reading, obviously, as you can see. We love cups of tea. We don't usually go a day without at least a cup of tea in the morning. And we also love biscuits, hence why we've now got packets of biscuits here.
chocolate ones came.
And Joe likes
Golden Crunch.
Golden Crunch, yeah. So in today's video we're reviewing two books, and they are
The Unwilling Recruit by John Evans, who we know his wife very well. Hannah, we love you to bits. Mwah. And John, we've never met him. We haven't got his book because it was the author's copy, so he kindly sent it to us on the understanding that we would post it back, which we did. So we don't have a copy of that book.
But we have the review that we wrote.
Yeah, we have. And the other book is by Ellie Griffiths, and it's The Stranger Diaries. So those are the two books we're going to be reviewing today. So shall we start on The Unwilling Recruit?
Yeah. So as Joe's already gone over, we were sent the book by John to review, and it was only one copy again. So Joe read it, then I read it, and then we sent it on to somebody else to read. And we have got our reviews here, so we might have to look at them and talk to you. So do forgive us for that, because we don't actually have the book. I can't remember what it looks like. I will put a picture of the book here, if you want to have a look at it, look at the picture. And I will put a link as to where you can buy it, so just click on the picture for that, okay?
That would be good. With this book, because I read it after the Thorns and Roses, I decided I wasn't going to have any preconceived ideas of how this book was going to be. I didn't want to judge it before reading enough chapters. Also, I sort of couldn't trust myself, because the other one I started to think, yes, this is good, and I was disappointed. So The Unwilling Recruit, I, total fresh, started to read it, and after the 3 chapters, I suddenly realised this is a brilliant book.
It's really good, isn't it?
It is good. It's an amazing book. The description does and everything, you can really picture it as if it's there in front of you, 3D. He is an amazing writer. I think this might have been his very first novel. And if it is his first one, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You've got to write more, John, you really have. It's a thriller with a supernatural tint to it. So you're wondering how that can work. Well, so was I, but it does. The protagonist is a reporter, isn't he? He's not even in the army. In fact, there's nothing to do with the army at all, although there's a lot of violence and whatever. But the protagonist is a reporter, and he's got a cameraman with him. There is so much going on in this book, and the description of things. There is a scene where you think, I recognise that from the movie, but the way he's described it is just amazing. I don't know what you thought
can
about
visualise it
it.
in your head, can't you? The actual scene and the plots as it goes through the book. I really like the description of it as well.
It's very hard to describe. You really must read it, but there's so much happening in it. The chapters are fairly short, but they're not too short. So you can get an idea. Each chapter has got something happening in it every single time. The style of writing doesn't take anything away from you. You can still use your own imagination. You can picture things. You can see it happening to him and his colleague. His colleague is a cameraman named Andrew. The opening has it as if they're in a war zone, and straight away you're thinking, where is this war zone? What's happened to them? So you are concerned about them to start with, and you're eager to follow what's going on. When you realise what's involved, it just throws you, because you suddenly realise you've gone into a real weird area here. How can the supernatural and thriller combine? But it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it. I liked how descriptive it was, how short the chapters were. I mean, obviously I love reading anyway, but when the chapters are that short that you just keep constantly turning the pages and you grip from the get-go all the way to the end, and it's just so action-packed as well. There's so much happening, but not too much where you think you're confused as to what's happening, because all throughout you know, well you get an idea of what's going to happen next, and the ending didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't. It was really good. In fact, my opinion, I am hoping he does a series, because it would really add to it. So, you know, if you're listening, John, which I hope you are, you've got to do book 2, darling. You've got to do book 2.
Because we've given this, how many out of 5 have you given it?
I was working up to 4.5 because I wasn't sure, and then I thought, no, forget it. It's a 5. It's a definite 5.
Yeah. 5 from me as well. So well done, John, on that. The next book, actually, Joe's got the book. I actually downloaded it for me on my Kobo. I've got the Kobo Aura here,
Very well.
which is
The Stranger Diaries
by Ellie Griffiths. Now, I'll let Joe start with this one because Joe's got a quite frank opinion.
Which is another, the picture on the book is ace. I've got to say, this book cover is a 5 by 5. Got to be. The synopsis is really the best way to read this book. I'm sorry, Ellie. But when you read the synopsis, you should not bother reading the book because it will disappoint. There's a story within the story, and the best part is the story within the story, not the actual thriller.
Yeah.
It's quite disappointing in every way. It didn't really grab me. It was quite slow starting, wasn't it? Didn't you find that? We would contact each other and say, how far you got with the book? And it's, I've actually got 3 lines done, I'm going to have to start it again. And this is how it went throughout. It seemed to take a long time for us to read it, didn't it? Because we kept having to read another
chapter. And I was
chapter.
that bored with the chapters. I'm sorry to say this, I've never been this harsh with a book, but I was that bored with the chapters that it was difficult for me to read, and I got into a slump type thing where I didn't want to pick up the book to read it, but I like to review books that I've read fully and completely. So we was contacting each other saying, are you having difficulty reading this book? And we both say yeah. And it wasn't because the subject is hard hitting and everything, it's just boring.
Yeah, it's a gothic thriller. So you'd think, brilliant, but no. The only thing I've got to say, I mean, bearing in mind, Ellie wrote the story within the story. So that one was really good. Not the actual gothic thriller, but the story within it was fantastic. And she should have just kept with that, don't you think? Instead of putting another story in there, it went from one thing to another and it didn't make sense, not to me. I'm really, really upset about this because I thought it was going to be fantastic. So, unfortunately, I sadly gave it a 1.
I'd give it a 2 out of 5 because I do love the cover. It is very intriguing. I usually pick books up from the cover based on how the cover it looks. And
We were wrong.
we was frankly quite wrong on this one. So I would give it a 2 based on that. But if you pick up the book for the synopsis and then want to read it, don't do it for this book because the story within the story is actually better than the actual content of the book. Yeah, so sorry Ellie Griffiths, on this occasion it is only a 2 out of 5. If other people like this book, that's your own opinion, this is our opinion.
Yeah.
We just want to say thank you for everyone for watching. We'll be back next time with 2 more reviews for you.
Do we know which ones we're going to be reviewing?
Oh yes, it will be You.
Yeah.
Which is, there's also a TV adaptation of this.
We're not on about the TV one, we're on about the book. Please do not get them mixed up because you'll be disappointed.
And Cloud 10.
Which is a good one by Tony Bianchi. You might know his name because he's a film director, but this is his first book and we're going to be reviewing that next
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So expect some more videos from us, guys. We hope you enjoyed it, and it's bye from us.
Bye.
Bye.